Hi, I'm Alex Usher, and this is the World of Higher Education podcast. It's been a while since we did an episode looking at the higher education system of a far flung corner of the world. Recently, I was perusing the pages of International Higher Education, a wonderful quarterly publication out of Boston College, and I saw a great little article about the challenges facing Mongolian higher education. And I knew this was something we had to cover on the podcast. Unless you spend a lot of time reading about the Chinggisid Empire, or in my case, watching the upper echelons of professional sumo, my guess is you probably don't think about Mongolia that often. As a state, it's only a little over a century old, a child of the disintegration of the Chinese Empire, which found protection under the Soviet banner. Its fortunes, both as a country and as a higher education system, therefore look a lot like those from the further flung stands of Central Asia. That is, seriously under resourced and heavily influenced by a Russian model which splits teaching and research into two very different buckets. Today, my guest is Dendev Badarch, a professor at the Mongolian University of Science and Technology in Ulaanbaatar, one of the co-authors of that IHE article. He has an interesting take on the current situation in Mongolia and the likely keys to the system's future success as the country moves towards upper middle income status and deals with the challenge of becoming a service economy. But enough for me. Let's turn it over to Dendev. So, Badarch, let's start with a brief history of Mongolian higher education, because you're the oldest university in the country. The National University of Mongolia is only about 80 years old, I think, 1942. My guess is that to start, the system would have been heavily dependent on the Soviet system. That would have been the model. How did the system develop during the period of socialism up to the end of the 1980s? Apart from training government cadres, what industries was it built to support? And how quickly did it come to teach in Mongolian?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me for this podcast. Yes, you are correct that the Mongolian higher education system was heavily influenced by Soviet system. The first university, National University of Mongolia, was established in 1942, but its curriculum, structure, administration, both they followed by Soviet models. But in order to align the national planned economy need, the Mongolia has established on the basis of several faculties, small schools like medical, agriculture, and teacher training and polytechnic. This process was between 1950 and 1960s. So in order to supply with relevant skills specialists, those institutes made quite a significant contribution to the Mongolian economy. Yes, the also university language of instruction was Russian at the beginning, but gradually this moved to Mongolian language because we have the new supply of Mongolian specialists with higher education degrees, etc. In the 1960s, many courses, especially in social and human sciences, were taught in Mongolian language.
So by the 1970s, then you've got a system that's producing professionals and it's producing them in the Mongolian language. And then suddenly at the end of the 1980s, there's a shift to a market economy. And that must have had a very profound impact on higher education. What were the biggest changes that occurred in that first decade or so of a market economy?
Democratic revolution of 1989, 1990s marked the historic transition in the history of our country. We we made the transition from socialist one-party system to multi-party democracy, free market economy. This shift led significant change in higher education. In response to the pressure from the democratic system, the government made, in my opinion, three key steps, the moves. The first one is that they made changes, significant changes, reclassifying the old public institute as universities. They giving them more authority because Mongolia faced economic difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, during the Soviet time, socialist period, Mongolian higher education was fully funded by the government, by the state. Tuition, student stipend, faculty salaries, etc. But when we had this democratic change, we had a very difficult situation. Second, under socialism, the all higher education institutions were public. The government was allowed to establish the private universities and colleges. That was increased quite significantly the access to the higher education. And third initiative was the adoption of the very first law on higher education. So these three important steps taken by government made shaped today's Mongolia higher education.
And what's the division now between public and private higher education? So, in countries, China, Russia, maybe 3/4 of the students are still in public universities, but there's still an important private or non-state sector that educates about 1/4 of the students. Is that true in Mongolia as well? How big is the private sector there?
You see, when the government made decision to establish the private school, there was the boom of the private small colleges, which has no infrastructure, no teaching enough, sufficient teaching staff, etc. And so one time it reached almost 200 private colleges. But as of last year, 2022-2023 academic year, we have 69 higher education institutions, from which 19 public, so 50 private.
Okay.
However, in terms of the student numbers, 60% of the students are in public universities.
Interesting.
Because of reputation, because of the infrastructure. Yeah. So the Mongolia has about 145,000 students.
So my understanding is that both public and private institutions rely quite a bit on tuition fees, and that the tuition fees are quite high. Is that good for financial sustainability, or does it come with risks for institutions?
Tuition fees are not high.
Okay.
Yeah, but the universities and higher education institutions depend on tuition. Almost 90% of income comes from tuition.
Even in the public sector?
Of course, there is no public funding.
Okay.
Except some the government subsidies for students.
And so it's not whether it's good. I guess you can't, in that situation, you can't really say, that a high dependence on tuition fee is bad. It's the only way to get things done if there's no public subsidy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Badarch, another critical function of universities is research. How does Mongolia compare internationally in terms of scientific research? What are the What are the successes and what are the biggest barriers to developing a stronger research culture?
The Mongolian universities from the beginning was the training institutions, not the research. But I would like to say that the last 10 years, there was a quite significant investment in higher education, especially public universities. The first, the university professors started to publish international. So the five most, the biggest public universities produce 65% of all internationally published research papers. But in Mongolia, the higher education and the research was separated from the beginning,
Right.
following the Russian model.
Right. So you would have an Academy of Sciences the way that
Yeah,
Rockford. Yeah.
research
Okay.
done by the Academy of Science.
Okay.
And second, the universities received quite a significant investment in research infrastructure. Example, the National University of Mongolia has more than 40 research laboratories in biology, environmental sciences, and even nuclear physics. The Mongolian University of Science and Technology has the supercomputer laboratories, very modern mechanical engineering laboratory. So we have this infrastructure now. Second, we have a lot of new graduates from foreign universities returning to Mongolia, working in the universities. So they are now producing the research papers. But in terms of the negative side, there is no funding for research for universities because research funding mostly goes to the Academy of Science. There is very weak collaboration with industry.
Hmm.
There is no funding from industry. Or there is no endowment fund, etc. So supporting system for university research. And then another problem is the graduate program. The Mongolian graduate programs are not strong. The first one biggest issue is that almost 99% of graduate students are part-time students. There is no full-time student.
Got it.
This means the research is not
Right.
there.
Right. Right.
This is the very critical problem.
A couple of years ago, there were a set of laws passed aimed to increase university autonomy. So it was like governance, leadership selection, those kinds of things. Do universities now have real independence, or does political influence remain a challenge? And what did the laws do to give effect to political independence?
During the last 3 years, there was the very wide discussions about the concept and the details of the new laws. So in July 2023, the parliament adopted set of education laws. The first time those laws covered all the stages of education as a one system. So this is the interconnection between different levels of education. That's a very good sign. Second, in this law, first time indicated academic freedom as the key principle of higher education. That is also a good thing. Third, third issue concerning the government bodies. So, according to the law, if it will be implemented correctly, the universities will have the independent government board. Third one is the diversification of the funding for universities. and the research of the university should be strengthened, and the government subsidy the public universities in terms of the maintenance cost. Those are the, I think, positive items of this new law. Unfortunately, in the reality, uh, implementation of those important issues not there.
Right.
Still, the political interference for the governing bodies and selection of electors and appointment of key leadership of universities are there.
So we've been talking a lot about challenges in Mongolian higher education. What do you think the opportunities are? Where do you see, the areas for greatest improvement in the next few years?
Yeah, there are opportunities. Of course, first, the universities now expanding the cooperation with the international communities. So they are learning a lot. And also, as I have already mentioned, that we have new wave of young specialists and graduates from world leading universities. So we need to hire them. If we will hire the new young people to give them opportunity to do research and to teach and reform higher education institutions, we will have some positive changes soon. Secondly, there is the opportunity for digital technologies. If we will use the digital technologies smartly and correctly, like AI or the other technology, then the Mongolian online teaching in MOOCs, etc. And then the Mongolian universities can step forward. So this is the opportunities. But in order to use those opportunities, we need to implement law correctly.
And so if we think even further ahead out to maybe 2050, what do you think the system will look like? Will there be catch up between Mongolia and, say, China or Korea and Japan? Like, will the system have developed to the point where it can group itself with those peers?
You may know that the government adopted the Vision 2050, the government long-term strategic development plan.
Mhm.
According to this plan, 2050, the Mongolia should have one of the leading university in the region. I see two scenarios for the development of higher education in Mongolia up to 2050. First one is optimistic and second one is pessimistic. I'll start with the optimistic. If we will reduce the government and political interference to the university governance, give them full authority, and second, the government should increase the support to the universities, establish a strong link with the industry, establish kind of triple helix models, etc. And also we tie up with the international leading universities in order to improve their graduate programs. In that case, the Mongolia should have the quite strong higher education institution, because otherwise you see today most skilled, talented students from the secondary schools, they are not looking for local university. They are looking for the other countries and different foreign universities. The pessimistic scenario is that if we will continue in this manner, the university is still there, but still no freedom, no independence. And those issues which we are facing today will continue. That is the very pity. But I hope that there will be some changes in government policy, and they will implement the laws and best practices from abroad in higher education system in Mongolia.
Badarch Dendev, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And it just remains for me to thank our excellent producers, Tiffany McLennan and Sam Pufek, and you, our viewers, listeners, and readers, for joining today. If you have any questions or comments about today's podcast, please don't hesitate to contact us at podcast@higheredstrategy.com. If you're worried about missing an episode of The World of Higher Education, why not subscribe to our YouTube channel? Go there today. Don't delay. Never miss an episode. Join us next week when our guest will be Stephen Mintz. He's a professor of history at the University of Texas, Austin, and we'll be talking about his new book, The Learning Centered University. Bye for now.